What's up, everyone? Happy, today is Tuesday. Happy midday. I know it is around 3:30 p.m. in the afternoon. I do have some time before one of my next online clients, so I wanted to go ahead and answer so many questions that I have been getting, your most popular questions, all regarding weight loss. I'm going to be giving you my best weight loss tips. Girls, if you haven't, go ahead and you can leave me questions in the comment section. If I didn't get them before and you leave them, I will be able to see them and answer them today. Hi, you guys. Hi. Hope everyone's having a good day. I'm just going to leave a little bit more time on here until we get some more people on. I know it's midday. I can be your little lunch break snack in terms of your health and fitness advice. Awesome. I'm so excited. Hi, Yolanda. Hi, Cassidy girls. Okay, so your lunch break tips, this is going to be all about weight loss. Ladies, if you want, you can leave me a question in the comments. I do have a bunch of questions that I want to answer that I have been previously asked, but I will definitely try and get to yours. Good, you can go ahead and leave me one. So weight loss tips, ladies, I'm going to be taking you through my 10 best steps, tricks, tips, and hacks in terms of losing weight. It is getting hotter outside. It is beautiful. The sun's coming out. It's about to be spring, which is our little introduction into summer. So I know everyone's going to start getting really excited about their weight loss journey and really want to know everything they can do. Awesome. Hi, everyone. Okay, so step number 1 when it comes to my top 10 weight loss tips, the number one thing that you all want to make sure that you're doing is incorporating a calorie deficit. Now, this is really confusing for a lot of people, and I want to make it really simple. You can be eating healthy foods and still be eating too many calories for your body and for your goals, okay? This is a very common mistake. It's something I made in the beginning of my own fitness journey way back when, and it wasn't until I understood energy balance and that was what really catapulted my results in all of my clients once I got into personal training after that. So a calorie deficit, ladies, basically your body needs a certain amount of calories to run, and it changes every day depending on your activity level. It also changes depending on your body composition, so your muscle mass versus your fat mass versus how much you weigh in total, and things like that. So when my clients sign up with me, I take their body composition through a scan, and I do an entire calorie calculation for them that puts this number out, and then that is what I give for them to be following if their goal is weight loss. Now, ladies, for you at home, one of the best ways to figure this out is if you have never tracked calories before, if you have heard of the app MyFitnessPal, go ahead and download that. You don't need to get the membership version. You can definitely just use the free version. But what you're going to want to do is be tracking your food every day, whether you're eating a snack, whether you're drinking a coffee, anything you eat or drink, you need to be tracking. And now this is also when portion sizes does come into play. Why? Because the bigger the portion, the more calories, the smaller the portion, the less calories, okay? So if we're gonna eat 6 ounces of chicken, that's gonna be very different versus 3, okay? And that is also a little tip, trick, and a hack is to weigh and measure your food. Now, girls, my goal for you is not to be portion obsessed, calorie obsessed, macro obsessed at all. But this is basically the foundation of what you're going to need to know nutrition wise for the rest of your life. So you only need to do it for a few weeks, a few months, and then you'll really get a healthy foundation on understanding the caloric value and nutritional value of different foods. And once you have that, girls, it's really empowering. All of my clients, it's one of their favorite things that they learn from me is really just understanding the nutritional value of food and then knowing how to navigate it from there. Okay, so you really want to go ahead and get MyFitnessPal, and then you want to be tracking your food every day, anything you eat and drink, okay? Any nidbits, snacks, if you have a few grapes, track it. This is just really going to help you understand what you're eating and the energetic value of it, the caloric value of it. So after you're tracking your food, you want to be then weighing yourself. So you always want to weigh yourself at the same time. That is for accuracy. The best time is to do it in the morning, before breakfast, after you've gone to the restroom, weigh yourself, okay? And then the more accurate way of doing this is if you weigh yourself every single day, so Monday to Sunday, and then you add it up and divide it by 7, that is going to give you the most accurate picture in terms of weighing yourself and knowing your body weight, your true body weight, okay? And so then, ladies, basically what this is going to show you is it's going to show you, based on the calories you ate and the way your body weight fluctuated, you will know whether or not you're in a calorie deficit or not, okay? So if you ate more calories than your body needed, you will be seeing over the week your weight going up, the scale going up, right? If you ate basically the same amount of calories that you're burning, so maintenance calories, you will see your weight stay relatively the same. And finally, if you were in a deficit, then you were eating less calories than you burned, you are losing weight, and if that is your goal, then that is where you want to be. You still want this to be a healthy deficit. No one wants to be starving. That is not what I teach. All of my clients are eating 4 to 6 meals a day, all including protein, carbs, and fats. That is another trick I will teach you. But you do need to be in some kind of deficit if the goal is weight loss. And you are only going to stay here until you reach your goal weight. And then after that, you would be back at maintenance. And that is what I teach my clients as well. So number one thing you want to be doing is track your calories, track your weight to see how you need to adjust them. And that's going to be your biggest weight loss tip. That is tip number 1, because ladies, if you are busting your ass in the gym, but then going home and eating all of those calories back up and you're in a surplus, then you know you're not going to be reaching your goals. I don't want to say you're doing it for nothing, because there's a million benefits that exercise is going to give you whether or not you lose weight. But if the goal is weight loss, then ladies, I do not want you spinning your wheels. I don't want you frustrated. I don't want you putting in all of this work only to feel like you can't reach it, or you're not motivated, or you're not dedicated. Girls, like, that's all up to you, okay? So how the person you want to be and the habits you want to have for whatever goal you have, they have to match, right? So if your goal is X and it takes Y, then you need to be Z, okay? So that's pretty much how this works, and that is one of my best tips for weight loss, is making sure you are in a calorie deficit first off, okay? So that is tip number 1. That was a really long explanation, you guys. I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited to be here. So let's go on to tip number 2. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment. I will do my best to get to it. So tip number 2 for weight loss, ladies, this is going to be resistance training. So why resistance training in terms of any other mode of exercise? Resistance training is the best. Why? Because it builds muscle, and muscle is your best friend when it comes to keeping fat off long term, okay? Because the more muscle you have on your body, the higher your metabolism is going to be at rest. And going back to that calorie deficit, ladies, how that works is you have energy in, energy out, okay? So if we're burning more calories out because we have more muscle on us, that's going to help us long term. Also, girls, if you would have had this experience in the past, say if you tried to lose weight, but the only thing you were doing was saying like dieting and cardio. So when you do a diet and cardio, you will lose weight, and you're gonna, get all the benefits of being extremely conditioned, so better lung health, better heart health, but you are not going to get that fit, tight, toned, and muscular look that we are all looking for when we think of that kind of healthy, lean, and toned body, okay? So if you were doing a diet and you were doing cardio, you'll lose weight, but you'll also feel really loose, right? You're not going to feel strong. You're not going to feel toned. You're just going to feel lighter, right? Do we want to be just lighter? Do we want to be tighter? So that is where resistance training comes into play. So resistance training, ladies, is really the answer when it comes to, I want to tone my abs, and I want to tone my arms, and I want to reduce cellulite, and I want to grow my booty. Resistance training really puts you in the driver's seat when it comes to sculpting your body. The way I like to think of it is you're an artist and you are sculpting like a sculpture, right? Like you're chipping away at her. You're like, I want this way to look like that, right? And then here. That's pretty much what resistance training allows you to do. So you can't just, or you can, but you don't just want to be losing weight with cardio or with other forms of exercise that don't necessarily allow for the proper progressive overload or stimulus needed to build that muscle that you want, okay? So resistance training, tip number 2. I talk so much I lose my breath. Okay, so any questions, leave them in the comments, you guys. Okay, so tip number 3 out of my top 10 tips for weight loss. This is going to be protein. So ladies, as a trainer, I'm sure you will have heard from any other trainer in the world that you need to be eating protein. But let me tell you why, okay? Protein, out of all three macronutrients, so protein, carbs, and fat, protein is the most thermogenic, meaning when you eat protein, it takes the most calories out of those three macronutrients to then digest the protein you just ate, okay? So it's thermogenic, meaning it gives your metabolism a little boost whenever you eat it. And also, in regards to tip number 2, back to resistance training, if we're, lifting weights in the gym and we're tearing down our muscles and we're not giving her the proper fuel when we get back home to repair them, then that's gonna be unfortunate. Then that's not gonna work, okay? So we need to be resistance training in the gym and then eating the adequate amount of protein at home. And then this is one of my favorite quotes, and it really is true, The quote is, abs are made in the gym, but they're revealed in the kitchen. And it's so true, and it's true for your entire body, right? You sculpt your body in the gym, and then you lose the fat and you define it in the kitchen, right? Based on what you're eating, okay? So protein, it's thermogenic. It's gonna help you build that nice, beautiful, lean muscle, which we already went over is your best friend when it comes to keeping the fat off long term. And it's also gonna keep you nice and full. And that takes me on to tip number 4, which is veggies. Ladies, everybody knows how good veggies are for you, and I know there's been so much talk about all of these weird diet fads with kind of bashing veggies. It's bullshit, and it's bullshit. Okay, so moving on that. Veggies are amazing for you. They're full of micronutrients, which is your vitamins and minerals. So ladies, if you want clear glowing skin, if you don't want to be deficient in vitamin A, D, E, C, K, or magnesium or selenium or copper, any of your minerals, you need to be eating veggies, ladies. It's a non-negotiable. This is what your body needs. They're the nutrients your body needs to flourish and to get all of the vitamins and minerals that are essential for us because we can't make them. So veggies, they are full of those micronutrients, and they are also full of fiber. Ladies, fiber is phenomenal for you. It is what keeps you regular in terms of your digestion and your bowel movements. And it has also been linked to longevity. And veggies as well as protein also keeps you nice and full, okay? So when we're on a weight loss program, the last thing you want to be feeling is hungry, because if you're hungry and you're starving and you feel deprived, that's when you make bad nutrition choices, right? That is when you go just grab the first thing you see, or you go to a fast food restaurant on the way home. That's when you're not making good choices. I want my girls on their weight loss program feeling so fucking good, feeling so full, feeling so energized, feeling so vibrant, feeling like they have beautiful skin, feeling like they have gorgeous hair. Bruce, here you go. Here's my tip for gorgeous hair. So you need to be eating your veggies and you need to be eating your protein, and you want to be having multiple meals a day, because both of these things are what will keep your energy level stable and what will keep you full longer, okay? So that was tip 4. Wow, this is a really jam-packed live session, you guys. Are you liking it? I'm giving a lot of info. Man, it's just pouring out of me. I was so nervous, which is so funny. Okay. So next, let's go tip number 5, sleep. Okay, so how the heck does sleep, how does sleep relate to weight loss? So ladies, when we get inadequate sleep, one of our hormones called leptin decreases, okay? Now leptin is your satiety hormone, aka the hormone that keeps you full, which we were just talking about when we were talking about protein and veggies. So if you are getting crappy sleep, then you are immediately pitting yourself against yourself the next day, because now you're going to be having a bunch of cravings and your appetite hormones, your leptin hormones, are going to be all off. So that's one of the best things about getting adequate sleep, is you want your leptin levels to be stable so you have a regular appetite, you're not having any crazy cravings. Number 2, this also has to do with your recovery, right? So again, we're beating your body up throughout the day. I know you guys are really busy, you're a businesswoman, you're working moms, right? That sleep is just, besides weight loss, guys, like sleep is the first part to feeling amazing the next day, right? So if you're sitting here saying to yourself, oh my God, I really want to feel amazing and have more energy, then that starts with tonight. That starts with you getting in bed at least 7 to 9 hours before you need to wake up the next morning, okay? And if you do that, you'll also be able to lose weight better, because you'll have a better appetite instead of having all these random cravings and feeling starving, okay? So that is sleep. So leptin, recovery, energy, compliance, right? If you girls are waking up in the morning feeling fucking drained and then having cravings on top of it and then feeling lethargic, you're not really gonna feel exactly motivated to follow your diet the next day and get a banging workout, okay? So your body needs to recover, your hormones need to be balanced, and you need to feel refreshed. So that's how sleep is integrated into weight loss, okay? It's more of a hormonal thing. The next one is going to be stress. This is also a hormonal thing. So ladies, if we are not managing our stress, if we are getting overwhelmed, if we're in our fight or flight mode all day, that's gonna make it really hard to lose weight as well. Why? Because if you have increased cortisol levels, then in men and women, we are gonna have decreased testosterone levels. Women, we have testosterone too. It is our number one hormone for building muscle in us as well as men. So if we are not having adequate levels of that because our cortisol levels are high, then that's gonna kind of put the building muscle portion of this on the back burner, which we know we want, okay? So it's also going to increase your glucose in the blood, again, because of those adrenal hormones increasing your fight or flight during the day, and increased in glucose in the blood is not going to be good because it will increase your risk for insulin resistance, which we won't get into it, but that's a precursor for type 2 diabetes, okay? So no big deal. And then it's also going to decrease your mood, okay? And then decrease in serotonin decreases your mood, that's when people also then turn to food as a coping mechanism. So girls, when it comes to stress, these are all hormonal changes that will impact your weight loss, and your happiness. So that's when, and it's really unfortunate. One of my clients was just telling me the other day, she's having an issue, she's going to the doctor, and they're like, oh, it's stress, go home and figure it out. Stress, like being stressed is not a diagnosis, you guys. You have to, if you're stressed, it's not like I'm stressed and I can't fix it. You can fix it. Like, you just need to have the lifestyle habits in place and the coping techniques in place and the self-care in place to fix that, ladies. Like, it's not like you've been diagnosed with something that's gonna fuck you up for the rest of your life. If you're stressed, then you need to be taking care of yourself and actually having things in place that are going to fix that for you. Because life is stressful, things happen. Business is stressful, work is stressful. You need to be having things that are going to calm you down and be relaxing. And here's another tip on this, because a lot of people use exercise as a coping mechanism and as a stress release. And that's amazing, that's great. But exercise is another form of stress technically on the body. Physically, it does increase cortisol levels for the hour or 2 hours that you're working out. So I'm not saying don't exercise. That's the opposite of what I want you to do. But what I want you to realize is exercise is a stimulus for the body. So when it comes to stress management, I also want you to have something that's calming, a relaxing activity, okay? So maybe you go work out, but you want to relax, so you take a bath, or you call a loved one, or you journal, or you read a book, right? Something that's going to relax the body and relax the nervous system. That's what you're going to want to do in terms of stress, okay? So sleep and stress, ladies, basically, sleep impacts appetite hormones, and stress impacts cortisol, which then impacts your testosterone levels in terms of building muscle, okay? There's more to it, but those are kind of the main things I want you to take from that. Okay, so let's go to number 7. This one's fun. So out of my top 10 tips for weight loss, number 7, this is about your mindset. Okay, so what I wrote here in my little notes on the side, I wrote mentality. Your focus determines your success. Okay, so ladies, when it comes to your success doing anything difficult in life, how you think about it, how you relate to it, your mindset around it is ultimately going to determine your success, okay? Because people struggle through hard things all the time, but the ones that are actually resilient and actually make it through and actually become successful are the ones that didn't give up, are the ones that related to things in a positive mindset instead of a negative mindset. And they're also the ones who believed in themselves, right? Like, even if something you're doing isn't working in the beginning, stopping is definitely not going to get you to where you want to be, right? So even if you're having moments where you're like, shit, this is hard, or I'm not motivated, or whatever, well, stopping's definitely not gonna get you to the goal that you wanted to do. So you're just gonna have to pivot, right? If you can't go under it, go over it. If you can't go through it, go around it. You're going to have to sort something out. You look for answers, right? Those people are resourceful. They're able to shift their mindset and make that failure motivate them, okay? So your focus determines your success. So for example, let's just say a client's on a weight loss journey. They've lost freaking 30 pounds. And now they're having like a couple days where they're staying at the same weight and they're like, shit, am I plateauing? You won't, because if you're with me, you won't. But maybe that's how their mindset is and they don't have me, so they can't get out of it, right? One of the best things for them to do in that situation is think, okay, so my weight has been like stable for the past few days, but how are my lifts in the gym, right? Am I getting stronger? And am I feeling better? Are my clothes fitting me better, right? Am I feeling happier? Are my energy levels better? How's my confidence levels, right? You're not just gonna focus in on one thing and just take yourself down a rabbit hole of the one thing out of the 10 that's not going right and the other 9 things are. Okay, so what you focus on determines your success. This also really relates to your identity, ladies. Like, I do have people that tell me, you know, like I'm someone who self-sabotages and I do this and I do that. Well, fucking don't do that. Like, and here's what I mean by that. Like, it's obviously not that easy, right? You're gonna have to create new habits and new like thinking patterns out of this. But that's what I mean. Like, what you believe about yourself is going to determine where you go from there. So if you say, I am someone who's a self-sabotager, then you're then gonna go out and do things that reflect that belief. Okay, so when you come with me and you tell me that stuff, I shut it down immediately. Like, the first thing I say in my consults with people that do that, I'm like, okay, well, not anymore. Because that's not gonna be who you are anymore. You're gonna be someone who is dedicated and who sees things through and who loves themselves enough to get themselves to where they wanna be. And for example, like a really good way of thinking about this too is I have a lot of clients, right, who in initial stages struggle with the mindset of, you know what, I worked so hard this week, I deserve this pizza, right? Or I deserve this treat, this XYZ. That is like a perfect example of the wrong mindset in terms of that situation. You do not deserve to go binge pizza and then feel guilty about yourself for binging the pizza and then gain weight and then eat more because you got stressed out. That's not what you deserve. What you deserve is, you worked so fucking hard this week, I'm gonna go take myself to the spa, wake up 3 pounds lighter, have an amazing check-in with Jen, right? Like, what you deserve is to reach the goals that you're working so hard for. What you deserve is to feel confident in the fact that you're loving your body, you're taking yourself to where you wanna be, you're not self-sabotaging shit. That's what you deserve. You don't deserve to feel guilty and reward yourself, because it's not rewarding yourself. That is a big spiral. And ladies, like, I'm the trainer I'm not harsh about that stuff at all. Like, I tell all of my girls, oh my gosh, you have a date night this weekend? Go enjoy your date night. Like, please, I am not the trainer that is super, super strict about that, because this is a lifestyle. I do not want you feeling FOMO or feeling like you're missing out on all these amazing things and you can't eat your favorite foods. Like, screw that. I'm not gonna have my girls eat chicken and broccoli all day. That's not what I do. It's not what I would want to do. It's not what I would want them to do. Okay, so that, and I think that does, you know, I think that's a big separation between, I would say, like other trainers in the industry, because if you're taught something that's extraordinarily strict, and extraordinarily restrictive in terms of the food it allows you to have, that is the number one stimulus or pattern or beginning to what could cause an eating disorder or just a crash, because you can't sustain it. Okay, so I don't know how I got all the way down into this. The whole topic was basically, your focus determines your success. Okay, so this is tip number 7 out of 10 out of my 10 tips for weight loss. Your focus determines your success, your mentality, the way you think about things, the way you handle hurdles, okay? So that's what this was about, but we got a little off topic, and that's fine. So anyways, ladies, as you're going through this, I guess my main tip is you need to be choosing identities and auditing the things that you say to yourself to make sure that they are in alignment with what that woman that would have achieved those goals would have been telling herself. That was a good way to end that. Okay. Next, you guys, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments and I will get to them. We are on tip number 8. Okay, short and sweet. Tip number 8 out of my 10 weight loss tips are to stay hydrated. Girls, water is involved in almost every single chemical reaction in the body. You need to be hydrating and drinking water. Ladies, your water goal, if you're a female, is 2.2 liters, men it's 3. Now, you are also adding ounces on top of this if you are active, and also depending on every 25 pounds of weight you have to lose, okay? So my girls are generally drinking about 2.7 liters to 3.74 liters a day, just depending on who they are and what their goal is, what their activity level is, all of those things. So water's huge. You need to at least be getting 2.2 liters, and if you were a female, I would shoot for, if you're active, 2.7, okay? Okay, next, we're on number 9. Oh my gosh, this was such an amazing live, you guys. Like, I'm proud of myself because I was really nervous to hop on here, but like in terms of identities and how you talk to yourself, I just told myself, well, I do hard things and I'm brave, so I'll get on live, and if I'm not perfect, it's okay. So let's go on to number 9. Number 9 is steps. So see my cute little Fitbit? I love this thing. If you have a Fitbit or an Apple Watch, basically, ladies, steps is a way to kind of hack your energy expenditure every day, okay? Because one of the things your body does when you start dieting is it notices the imbalance in your energy expenditure versus energy intake, and so she starts to move less. And you won't even notice it if you don't have one of these. You will not notice it. But for example, whenever I start my bikini competition prep, oh my God, the first like 2 weeks of being in a deficit, I feel it so much, so strongly. And you'll see me in like personal training sessions go from jumping up and down and being there to me forcing myself to not have to sit down because you're tired. You don't have as many calories as you did before. Girls, like, calories are like the gas to your car. Imagine running on an empty tank, or not empty, but you know, like a tank that's half full in terms of your body and in terms of the calories you're getting. So your body will move less, like even to the point where you'll fidget less. Like if I was in competition prep and I was doing this live, I wouldn't be doing all these big movements probably because I'd be tired. My body would be trying to reserve energy, and it's unconscious. So anyways, sparing the details. Steps. You want to have a Fitbit or an Apple Watch, ladies, to be tracking your steps every day and then hitting a goal. So that's one of the things I do with my clients. Each phase, everything increases and gets harder. So if they're in, say, phase 1 with me, then I want them hitting 8,000 steps a day. Right now, their bodies, if they're in a deficit and they start getting tired, like maybe they were hitting 8,000 steps a day on their own, but then they started dieting. Now their body is feeling that energy decrease, right? So they're moving less. They're probably going to get like 5 without even knowing it. Like you won't even know that your body just did that to you and that you're moving that less. So I give my girls the step count and have them wear the Fitbit and the Apple Watch because that's my way of keeping their energy expenditure consistent, okay? Which is going to push the energy outside of that equation in terms of weight loss and is going to help them with that consistent drop, okay? So one more out of my 10 tips for weight loss. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment and I will get to them. So nice seeing you, girls. Okay, so step 10, this is just about lifestyle, and this is my tip, ladies. I'll end off with this. It takes 21 days to create a habit. 21 days. Now, the first thing I want to relate this back to is in terms of that your focus determines your success, right? Your mentality. Girls, the way you have to think about like your mindset around things, sorry, 1 sec. Your mindset around things and like beating old thinking patterns and things that you've dealt with in the past is you have to realize that however old you are, like if I'm 26, right? My mind has been thinking in that way for 26 years, right? So for me to create a new like thinking pattern, right? A new way for my brain to think about things in a more positive light, it's not going to happen overnight. I have 26 years of thinking in the other way. And the way I like to describe this to clients is it's like if you were to go on a hike, right, and you see the paths most trodden, right? You're like, that's the route that your brain wants to go. you're gonna have to create a new path and keep going over it and keep going over it and keep repeating it. And this is the same with habit change and anything, right? So if you want to if you want to start thinking more positively or more kindly or more lovingly to yourself, you have to keep up with it every single day. Okay, so like for example, goal number 1 is speak kindly to yourself for 21 days. And when I say that, make it more specific, like create a specific phrase in your mind that you know is what you need, and then say that to yourself every single morning for 21 days, right? If you're a person who wants to start working out, then do something active every day for 21 days, right? If you're someone who wants to start eating more healthily, add veggies to each meal for 21 days, okay? And ladies, this is going to be the beginning to what is going to be a beautiful new lifestyle change for you. So we really make this a lifestyle. Okay? All right. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed that live. That was really fun. I have a call in about 15 minutes. So I will be seeing my client then, and I'll see you guys later. Bye, you guys. Thanks for joining.